Austin here in Budapest, Hungary, right on the Danube River, like we were in Vienna just a few days before. I'm standing outside the lovely symmetrical Parliament building, and I just did this wonderful tour, and the guy was really kind. His name was Levi Toth, and even answered a few extra questions for me in regards to the Parliament after the tour, so it was really wonderful. The building was meant to commemorate the union of the cities of Buda and Pest, and was started in 1896. So the building, but 1,000 years before, was also whenever Hungary was made and created in 896 AD. And so there's a lot of consistent themes of the number 96. The chandelier that's in the main dome has 96 lights. The height of the building is 96 meters, as well as the St. Stephen's Basilica in the city of Budapest is 96 meters. And the tour guide said that that represents the peaceful coexistence of church and state, which is pretty amazing. Originally, the Parliament itself, it took 17 years to make, and it was made by the architect Emir Steindl, and he died 2 months before its completion. He was a really meticulous person, making sure every single thing was done correctly and to a T. And it was really, sounded like he was really dedicated to his life's work, because he even died in a wheelchair at the end, whenever, like right before it was completed in 1902. So that's gonna be like late Romantic period. It has a lot of semblances on the inside to Baroque and Renaissance, even though, you know, that was all like hundreds of years before. Everything that is 3 meters high, so it's a place that you can't really reach, is gold. Otherwise, it's just like painted gold or brass. The royal crown rests right in the middle of the dome and is protected, and that was from over 1,000 years ago, when the royal crown would be bestowed upon each king or queen over the centuries. The first one to establish the monarchy was King Stephen's in around 1000 AD, and he made it into a Christian kingdom. And Levi explained to me that that was extreme resistance. And the hill that's just to the left behind me, he said that there was an archbishop that also lived up there. And after King Stephen's died in 1038, the nomadic people that were much more, had their own religion, they came and threw him down the hill, the archbishop, and then stabbed him, and he's now a martyr. I forget the name. I didn't actually write that down. The next significant, so inside the dome is 16 statues, and each statue is a different king. And one of the major ones is King Matthias, and he existed during the Golden Era in the 15th century, the late 1400s, and was like whenever Hungary was a superpower and really successful financially, economically, and the people were really peaceful. The building itself is perfectly symmetrical, where the north was mainly for royal, and that's why you can detour it, because there's not a royal monarchy anymore, and the south is still for the Parliament. I think I'll probably just keep going, because I think it's so fascinating, even though it might end up being over 5 minutes. I think the monarchy ended just before the Great War, because the king at that time left, and then he tried to come back after World War I, but they didn't want him and didn't want to be a monarchy anymore. What I thought was interesting is that on that royal side, a lot of it is blue carpet, and he explained that it's because it was like royal blue, because back then they believed that the royals, because they were so pale, had blue blood of all things. As far as World War II goes, this is the really interesting part that stuck out to me that I want to add in, and that's that they took out all of the stained glass and hid it inside the basement in sand. And so all of the stained glass, even though a lot of the building was destroyed from World War II, and something like 80% of the city of Budapest was destroyed in World War II, they were able to maintain those and keep those really protected. The other thing is that just before World War II started, there was a photographer that took pictures all inside the building. And just recently, in 2014, 10 years ago, they found those photographs and have been restoring all of the architecture of the Parliament. But mainly that's done. It's the other buildings that are surrounding it that they've been restoring to that original design from that significant architect that did a lot of the design back then. The other thing is that they only had a few days of peace after World War II, and then the Soviets just took over. And whenever the Soviets took over, it turned into a dictatorship, and for 45 years. And there was a small brief period whenever the Hungarians fought back and they won, and then the Soviets sent in reinforcements and tanks, and then they all lost, and a lot of them died. But he seemed very proud of the fact that his people back then didn't want to give up and just kept fighting. Yeah. I think that's everything. Yeah, it was a really thorough video, and now I'm at a long period of time, but it was just so fascinating, so hopefully it's okay. All right, bye guys.